We have here with us today Mr. Anantha Padmanabhan, who is a partner in a leading strategic management consulting company called CAMS Consulting. He has had extensive experience in the corporate sector, both nationally and globally, spanning over 35 years, with important positions in many leading corporates, and the most recent one being Alfa Laval, from where he retired before he actually joined CAMS Consulting. Welcome, Anantha. We are here today to talk about a very special event which was organized by CAMS Consulting in Pune, which was a CEO Roundtable. So tell us more about the CEO Roundtable and why Pune specifically for the CEO Roundtable.
The thought of CEO Roundtable came to us because we are primarily Pune based. We have worked in large companies. Then the question comes, what have you to do with MSMEs? And that's the value we bring on the table. And that's why we decided we need to talk to the MSME CEOs in Pune. Let me start with the good news that basically industry is growing and people are doing well. And none of the CEOs who came, they really talked about shortage of business. So that was the good news. And that is one of the reasons why we decided to be Pune. And Pune is a very large industrial hub with a lot of large companies. And Pune is a place for expansion in Maharashtra, where a lot of companies can come in and more investments can happen.
If I may also add, Pune is known to be the third largest contributor to the GDP of Maharashtra when it comes to the industrial sector. And majority of this, I think, as you rightly mentioned, comes to manufacturing, and a lot of it comes to MSMEs in the manufacturing sector who support the larger corporations who are based here in Pune. And the theme of this conference was CEO challenges and priorities for the current financial year. Anantha, we are of course already into the current financial year, moving into the second quarter after a month. What would you summarize as the key challenges for the CEOs who actually attended, and what really emerged in the discussions and the deliberations?
I would possibly limit myself to 3 or 4. One which was echoed across the table was about manpower availability. And one interesting fact that came out in this aspect was that today they are dependent a lot on immigrant labor coming from other states, and they were all worried what happens when that drains, when that stops, when these particular states develop. Apart from that, another big challenge which many of them said was capital availability and capital management. The third aspect I would say is they had growth, but their challenge was how to sustain growth.
So did you all actually also dive into any solutions when you talk about manpower challenges?
One of the thoughts initially that came out was the government should do something about it. We, having worked in the industry, said if we depend on government for everything, nothing is going to happen. And that is where you need to collaborate. And one idea which was mooted was to form a common platform where they can help in recruiting and upskilling or skilling the fresh people coming out of the technical schools.
When we talk about a platform, is it going to be something on the lines of the ITIs which are already there, or are we talking about something totally different here?
It has to be more than that. I was looking up, there is something called the International Council for Small Businesses, ICSB, and they were looking at the top 10 challenges globally for small businesses. I was reading a study by International Council for Small Businesses, which is a global organization, and in their study on the priorities for small businesses in 2024, they said the number one on the list was collaboration and working together and creating solutions. So instead of depending on the government, the small industries can collaborate together.
So Anantha, let's move to the next point you mentioned about capital. So whether it is funding through VCs or it is through other channels, the government promoting a lot of startups, and then you have a lot of MSME startup funding as available as well. How does that position itself with the challenges that the CEOs actually spoke about?
I think Still, all said and done, venture capitalists are focused more on tech companies. The manufacturing companies still have not got the benefit of this sort of funding. It is still a big challenge for them, and that remains a challenge, and that needs to be addressed. That's an area. If the manufacturing companies have to grow, which has to grow and which has got tremendous potential to grow both locally and in export markets, the funds have to take a different approach.
Yeah, and if I may just add, and would love to have your views on this, the China plus one angle, which we keep talking about all the time, I think capital availability, access is going to play a key role in getting to that point.
Definitely, if Indian small scale businesses show the initiative, interest in creating products, creating solutions which will cater to the China plus one situation, there are tremendous opportunities. Some of the CEOs who came to the roundtable, they are benefiting a lot from the India plus one. There was a large radiator manufacturing company, and they are exporting more than 40%. They say that even though their price is higher than some of the European suppliers coming from some of the, I wouldn't call third world European, but then some of the other European countries,
yes.
they are able to compete well, even though their price is high.
That sounds really encouraging for the Indian MSME sector.
That's all.
The most talked about topic nowadays, which is essentially technological disruption, and we have got AI and ML and LLMs being talked about day in and day out. When it comes to big corporates, big companies, adapting to these technologies, leveraging these technologies to usher in the transformation that is needed as part of their overall digital transformation journeys is definitely not a challenge. It, of course, it calls in for planning, and it does call in for doing it in a phased manner. But when it comes to the MSME sector, who, as we already talked about, are coping with capital challenges, how do you think they will be able to actually leverage these technologies for their benefit and, of course, for their growth?
I think it's a mindset change. AI and digitalization will result in job losses. It is true, there will be a job shift, and if you don't upskill and reskill, there will definitely be a job loss. But that means, along with upskill and job skill, these small businesses also have to grow. They need to add new products, they need to add value added systems and products, and that is how they can redeploy the people who have come in. But the most important thing I would say is a mindset change.
So, in your opinion, when you, of course, start would have to be a change of mindset, but then how does it actually translate into taking steps? What would be the initial few steps in your mind that MSMEs could take?
Of course, after the mindset change, after accepting that there is need for digitalization, look into your company, see areas where you can improve productivity and efficiency by doing digitalization and AI. And take small steps at a time. You don't have to make huge investments in one go.
All right, Anantha. Thank you so much. So, viewers, we have a good summary of the developments or the deliberations which took place at the CEO Roundtable held recently in Pune. Anantha, thank you so much for joining us, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you, Vineet.